Welcome to Isis in a Bible Fall Gathering, week number 8, Krishnamurti. The question today is, what does stepping on the snake mean to you? In this week's gathering, we look at Krishnamurti through the lens of the divine feminine, the same Eris, Isis, Mary archetype who steps on the snake. Krishnamurti lived this truth. His entire life was the courage of placing the foot of awareness on the untruth within the waters of the mind. Stepping on the snake is the moment the illusion loses its power because the heart has remembered itself. It is Isis restoring order, imbalance, crumbling the ego memories. The instant stillness is present. Krishnamurti did not only embody this because of choice, as you will soon see, it's in his destiny based on his past lives. Glad you could join us today. Couple of quick little shares that other people gave because they're beautiful. Tammy Maxine shared this beautiful view looking up from the base of a tree. Now look at that. Look at that field. You got to stare at that. Just look at that. I borrowed this image of a girl looking up from Daniela Elena Tentis, and she's on Pixabay. So if you ever want free images, but you can buy them at coffee if you like, and I do that once in a while to use their images on pixabay.com. So I'm just showing you, when you look up that tree, you're basically inside the field of that tree. It's like being inside an atom, and that's Adam and Eve. Atom is Adam, is us in manifest. The tree has a field. Everything has a field, and that's God. That's the face of God that you're looking at, the field, like we've shown before, the 6 and the 9, the G and the D. So it's beautiful. So thanks for sharing that, Tammy. And Rosemary shared an experience that she had with a couple of deer, 2 females, mother-daughter, she thinks. And they've shown up before, but they came from 1 o'clock to 111, but then came back and stayed for about an hour. She said one of them come up and look inside the van like a Jurassic Park, like a dinosaur looking in, saying, hey. They were very tentative and very loving, and she got an amazing, great experience. And a synchronicity that I had with James Angelari, we had a coffee yesterday, and we're talking about our heart as light as a feather, and he said he found a couple of Egyptian tiles inside a store. So another beautiful synchronicity with the weighing of the heart ceremony, because these 2 tiles are the weighing of the heart. It's you getting your heart weighed, and then you becoming sovereign. Because remember, when you do that stepping of the snake, when you do this process, this is the true sovereignty. You give your own karma. Nobody else is going to show up at your door. That's why people don't show up no more when you do your work, because your inner work reflects the outer world. Right. So this is the magic we're upon, and that's the scene. You can see that the one tile is this, and it skips right over to the other tile, which is you with both Marys having sovereignty. So there was a beautiful synchronicity yesterday when I jumped in his truck to get a ride home. He had those 2 tiles there. How beautiful is that? And remember, feather is F and ether. The ether is pure love, right? And the F is the 6th letter, the snake with a cross on it. Thank you, James, for that one. Because it just really quickly, I did go through this briefly, but I'm just going to talk about what's coming up. So, because we're going to do what's the weather. Look what the weather, how weather is spelled. W ether. If you want to know the weather, your weather is always going to be beautiful if it's love-centered. So that's how you can predict the weather in astrology, right? So just what's coming up around the corner? Well, we just passed November 18th, Mars aligned to Antares, which is beautiful. So that's fire, because that's Mary in redshift to point things out to you. And Antares is the redshifted royal star. This is, people will have got a reminder that they need to stay in that essence of that royal star, which is abstinence. Abstinence from materialism, abstinence from many things. And yes, abstinence even to that sexuality, because sex is not a sport. That's a reminder that some people would have gotten. We got November 22nd coming up, the peak of Samhain, and Ceres goes direct. Ceres is all about relationships. So there's going to be a whole new relationships with the way people handle their finances, because people have more and people have less, and that's not equity. So this is a step in the right direction. So they're planting some seeds there. Twos means seeds. So that's coming up. And then on November 28th, Saturn turns direct. Okay, Father Time. So we're gonna, people that are feeling the effects of time, people that have Ceres and Saturn, they're really gonna feel this effect when that shifts. So everybody's chart is different. So the weather depends on your own world, because everybody's world has different weather. Okay, so before we talk about Krishnamurti, here's a picture of him. A good-looking dude, eh? When he was young, eh? And still a good-looking guy when he was... I'm not sure if he's still... I don't think so. He was born in 1800s. Anyway, and I show this image here, right? And he's stepping outside of himself, but he's looking at this image, which is on the Egyptian walls. Because look at the snake. Look at the lion is riding the snake. He's riding on top. It's not making waves. It's flat. It's stillness, it's calmness. And I got to figure out, because when Les said when the mother holds the by the tail, and then look at, there's another guy down here, there's one sitting on the throne. So it's interesting. You're helping me open my eyes to what's actually there, Lex. So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, and that bird under the tail is a kite.
This right here?
Yeah, a kite, yeah.
That's a kite?
Yeah.
What's a kite?
It's a kind of falcon. In Dutch, it's called a wow.
Oh, okay. Wow. Interesting. Okay. So we showed this before, right? In the Catholic Church, we show an image of Mary stepping on the snake. And remember, Mary is the mother of God, G-O-D. You can see this, what God is formed by these golden ratio of perfection, right? See the word God? Mary is the mother of God. Mary is the one that squishes God. When we go outside of the perfection, we get karma. We get reminders, we get guidance, we get all these things, and that's another symbol of Mary stepping on the snake. And I'm going to show you this one. If you look at the red as being a non-good, loving wave, you need love and that to battle it, to attenuate that wave down to stillness, calm the waters, so you can attenuate your next waves. I thought today that I'd go and look at, when I took this image, because this was at a buddy who left the visible, Mike. So I looked at the time that I took the image at St. Joseph Catholic Parish, but look what was in the sky at that time when I took that. The moon was aligned Mother Mary. When I took that picture of Mother Mary stepping on the snake, at that exact time, the moon was aligned Mother Mary. And there is the snake, the head of the snake right there. And then that made me start looking for the head of the snake and Mary stepping on the snake, to which she did on November 27th, 2023. So this is the guidance that we're getting from the stars, folks. And Book of Genesis, which is Generation Isis, chapter 3, the temptation and fall of man, verse 15 says, I will put enmity between thee, which is you, because we're the one that makes the waves, so we're the serpent, and the woman, pure love, and thy seed and her seed. She shall crush the serpent's head, the ego, and thou shalt lie in wait for her heel. So this is love crushing the ego, is the fall of Babylon. This is the Phoenix rising we're upon, when you realize that everything you're experiencing is because of you. And we're collectively all together in this, so there is no judging each other, but we need to judge ourselves. And like we showed you this before, The snake and all these things are riding on top of the snake. It's all there in the Egyptian walls. We have to ride above those and stay calm. Does not a boat ride on top, staying calm? Yes, it does. So as we showed before, Sekhmet, Lilith, Medusa is about pulling your snake when you're not divine. And this image here just shows how the cat and the snake are so into showing us. And as Justin can attest, Mother Nature shows us this all day long by example. The snakes showed us going by in a wavy pattern, and then it went by with its tail exactly flat. And then I send this image to Justin as a reminder, and then he went to a coffee shop where this scene happened. This is not the exact picture of it, but this scene happened earlier before he got there at the coffee shop, and then I sent him that picture to top it off, all synchronistically. So they're getting us all to talk together. So again, so here it is on the Egyptian walls. This is Gemini. When the woman has her feet together, this is pure love. This is on the pole. And then the man is walking. That's manifest. That's God. This is the action of God. We're making waves now. And as you can see, that's Orion's walking, right? But he's got the staff. He's got the crook and the flail. So he's going to make minimal amount of waves. And that's where this wavy snake is there on the 3, 6, 9. Right? Because this is where we create waves when we're in manifest. When we come out of the waters of the womb, we start making motion. We have to make sure, like this image here, we got to make sure the waves are calm. You can't do this by owning the story that you did. You can't tell people over and over again. I questioned David at Unity. You can't do that, David. He says, no, I'm already over that. I says, but if you keep telling the story, you're not over it. You're not over it if you keep telling the non-loving images, because we're going to now visualize you in that past, which just keeps it alive. And Krishnamurti has got a saying on that one, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so Krishnamurti, what did he have to do with stepping on the snake? Well, his destiny is to expose and dissolve the untruth. So I'm going to leave that for the next slide when I get into his chart. So his life work, ending authority, tradition, and psychological conditioning, he spent his entire life pointing out the psychological snake, conditioning, the ego, authority, belief, memory. He stepped on these patterns by exposing them gently, repeatedly, without judgment. His teachings are Mary, Isis in action, placing the foot of awareness on the serpent so it cannot rise again. He taught that the snake is the images, memories, and unloving patterns in our waters. When Mary steps on the snake, it's not literal. It's just bringing things to stillness. She stops the cycle of old images controlling the present. That's why we have to repaint. Krishnamurti taught exactly this, that the psychological image you hold of yourself creates suffering. He taught the purification of the inner waters. This matches the biblical symbol and the Egyptian symbol exactly. So stillness as the heel, ego collapses in the presence of pure awareness. He showed that the ego can collapse in the presence of pure awareness. This is the heel of Mary, stillness, silence, the etheric, loving center. When you observe with self-judgment, do the 5-step forgiveness, the serpent, the reactive mind, has no energy. This is stepping on the snake at the highest level. A destroyer of psychological Babylon, dissolving inner division. So he lived as a destroyer of psychological Babylon. He often said that society is fundamentally sick. It's built on division. He walked the path of dissolving that division, the fall of Babylon inside the human psyche. His entire teaching was love, removing the weight of ego, just like the weighing of the heart ceremony. So his messages match the 5-step forgiveness process. Krishnamurti's whole message aligns with our 5-step process. He taught that when we bring loving awareness to what arises without resistance, purification happens instantly. This is the serpent dissolving, the waters clearing, the heart becoming feather light. Light is a feather. So his teachings are riding above the sine waves. We showed you the Egyptian image of riding above the snake, above the sine wave, the sin wave. Krishnamurti lived above the psychological wave, not reacting, not repeating, not storing distortion. His seeing was higher than the pattern, so the pattern dissolved beneath him. So he returns humanity to its natural balance, like Isis restoring Mayat. He didn't give a method, he restored balance by helping people see. That is the divine feminine, that is Isis, that is Eris. Gentle correction that realigns the field of consciousness back to truth. So here are some quotes from him. Truth is a pathless land. To understand the immeasurable, the ether, the no thing, the mind must be extraordinary quiet and still. The ending of fear is the beginning of wisdom. When you see the false as the false, the truth is. Where there is clarity, the snake of fear cannot exist. In the flame of attention, the me disappears. And to be free of the past is to be free of the image of that past. This is the one we keep telling you that this is the 5th step in the 5-step forgiveness process. This is the one where we're not supposed to repeat what we did and try not to use trigger words like I have in here. And please forgive me because I shouldn't have some of these trigger words, because bravery is achieved is the beginning of wisdom when you're in nothing but bravery. So Krishnamurti's destiny to expose the untruth, the divine feminine within. So in his chart, which I'll go over in a minute, the divine feminine who reveals imbalance sits right on his north node, the head of the snake. This shows a destiny of dissolving false images, cutting through illusion, and guiding humanity back to inner truth. He was cosmically tasked with stepping on the snake, the distortion in the waters, not through conflict, but through pure seeing. So when you pull into his chart, I only went to a section of it, it's beautiful. Because there's Mother Mary, and there's the head of the snake, right? Because that's the symbol on the cobra, right? And he also had Icarus right there at 0 degree Pisces, at the cusp between Aquarius and Pisces. He has Lilith there, and then he has Vesta, the Black Moon, and Hygeia all together. These are all signs that he is living his lives properly, because they will come back and be there in his next life. Because we are infinite, and we are incarnate, and we are karmic beings. So he did something really, really good. So he got to achieve that wisdom, and you retain it because it can't be taken away. Force cannot trump love. It's impossible. It's impossible. So you remember Dr. Emoto, memories are in the waters. You need to be filled with loving vibrations. This is somebody that is sitting there that is retaining to all those non-loving images and words, and they're not brave. And so why they're not brave is because they're waiting. You have this innate knowing that something's going to happen to you because it's in your waters. So you can get rid of them by just doing what we're telling you with the 5-step. Knowing that you created it all is the 1st step. So once your waters are pure, what will attract? Loving beings. That's what's happening at Unity. All these loving beings are coming together. But law of attraction is kicking in. So the pebble in the pond, added some of the Egyptian walls on there to make it clearer. When we move forward, when we start walking, we got to watch what waves we create. Because these waves, these memories are stored in the waters, right? But we're tethered to pure love. That's what Gemini is showing, because this is right here on the pole of stillness. So we have to make sure that our waves are always loving and they're easily converted back to calm waters. And so that's what the 5-step forgiveness process does. For those of you who haven't heard it before, I'm going to say it because I always say it. I say it every day. So the process called catharsis, releasing, can be achieved by this method, the 5-step forgiveness, aka the Ho'oponopono, with revelation that it's you and the love process. So you need to do this to everyone that did something to you that was not loving. Forgive me for not being the loving man I should have always been. I thank you for your guidance because I know it's guidance. If your guidance was not loving, I forgive you so that your waters are purified, because we're all connected and we got no choice but to guide each other home. I love you. I imagine now, repainting, we are now always in balance, harmony, peace, tranquility, and one love. This is the only path to one love. Okay, and so that's all we have except for this little intention that I'd like to share with you. So if we want to get grounded, if you want to keep your eyes open, however you want to do it, because we're going to do what's called meneme, and we're going to think of beautiful thoughts while we go through this. So an intention of shared abundance and living freedom, we remember together. We are the living hands that shape all things. We are the breath that brings form into being. We are the creative heart of the world. All that exists in harmony comes through us, the growers, the makers, the carers, the visionaries. And so we speak this intention. May all things reflect their true nature, open, shared, flowing, abundant, alive. May every good and gift move freely. May every need be met gently and naturally. May every life be supported without measure. We raise the white flag of pure truth, a symbol of peace, unity, and wholeness. At its center is the quiet still point, the womb of the ether, the heart of creation, and place where all returns to balance. The love renews all things. From this stillness we remember, we are one field, we are one love, we are one life. Let nourishment be shared, let shelter be shared, let healing be shared, let knowledge be shared, let energy be shared, let peace be shared. This is not a gift, it's a returning. All value flows from life, and life is for all. We hold this intention gently, powerfully, joyfully, that all beings are supported, that all hearts are at ease, that abundance is natural, love is the way, the truth, and the atmosphere we breathe. It is alive now, we walk into form together, one love always. And that's all we have for today.